All right, it's week 18, regular season coming to an end. Vikings at Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Haven't been very excited leading up to this game this week. I'm not excited about it now. Um, some of that is just the major buzzkill of getting blown out by the Packers, which was awful and has really put the fan base into just a depression. You know, Obviously, there's a whole bunch of them who just want to forfeit the playoffs, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm still looking forward to the playoffs. I'm just not looking forward to this week. But it was a terrible game. A lot of fallout. A lot of you know, the whole thing with players were encouraged to wear different cleats, and they just kind of ignored the trainers, which led to a lot of the issues. May have even led to losing the right tackle for the season. And of course, we got the worst case scenario news on Brian O'Neill. Tore his Achilles, out for the season. Could be out for a chunk of next season. All because Green Bay can't be bothered to have a real field, and maybe we can't be bothered to wear the proper cleats. So that fucking sucks. Picked up a couple linemen this week, just off of the scrap heap. We picked up a center who was just like a free agent, and we picked up a tackle who I believe, was from the Rams, or at least he had been with the Rams at one point. So there's probably some familiarity with O'Connell. That's just for depth because we're gonna be rolling. We're probably depends on what the situation is with Bradbury. Bradbury out, of course, again this week. Um, I'm hoping he's back. I mean, I've been just kind of assuming this whole time that they're just kind of taking it real cautious because with their position in the division, they were kind of like, well, let's not push it too much. But he's still barely practicing. I think maybe he practiced a little this week, but like he's gotta get out on the field. If he doesn't get out on the field, Monday or probably not Monday, but like Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, he ain't gonna be playing the playoff game. We might be playing Saturday. We could be playing the first game Saturday for all we know. We don't know yet. That'll come out tomorrow night, I guess, after all the games are done. But so I guess it's gonna be Chris Reed again at center. Hope he's learned the basics of playing center in the past week because that was a disaster last week. We weren't going to win that game anyway, but man, we would have had at least a prayer of a comeback if we could at least have gotten like snaps off properly. But and Schlotman is out. I'm not sure if they announced for sure that that's for the season, but it's probably the season. So I guess right tackle going forward, it's a little unclear. Udo filled in last week, but I don't know if he's come back this week or not. But Blake Brandel, he might move over to right tackle. He did okay at left tackle, but it's not as simple as hey, go you were okay at left tackle, go play right tackle. It's different. It just is. So it's the worst thing you want is to have an offensive line in chaos heading into the playoffs. It's certainly sapped my hope for a long playoff run. I still think we can get out of the first week of the playoffs, but boy, it's going to be really hard to win beyond that. Assuming we have to go on the road. We are getting Irv Smith back this week. He's finally off IR. There, he's active. He's active, so get him out there. We're probably going to have to play a little more, multiple tight end stuff, to help with pass protection a little bit. But any little bit of I've been down on Irv Smith and with great cause, but if he can be your number two tight end, you can live with that. But we don't have too many guys out this week. But again, the big thing coming into this game is I really don't know that I personally care enough about winning this game to go all out and play guys, because you're going to be playing on another shitty field. Soldier Field is usually pretty bad, especially this time of year. Like I'm not anymore at a point where I want to go all out for the number 2 seed. I've been all about the number 2 seed for weeks, but the number 2 seed is gone. I mean, the 49ers are home and they're playing the David Blau led Cardinals. Probably the last game for Kingsbury. Like, they don't give a shit. And the 49ers still have a shot at the 1 seed. They'll all be playing at the same time in the late window tomorrow. The 49ers are not going to lose that game. So you are not getting the 2 seed. You are going to be the 3 seed. So I would just I wouldn't play anybody. O'Connell says he's going to play guys, but maybe rotate guys in and out or something. I would just maybe if you want to put some of the starters out there for a couple series or a quarter just to keep them a little loose and stuff. I guess that's okay. I really would just treat this as a preseason game. I mean, you're not going to get JJ is not going to get 2,000. Sorry, that ended last week when he only got one catch for 15 yards. He's not going to get 2,000. He's not going to break Calvin Johnson's record. Sorry, that's just that. Maybe another year. That's just not going to happen this year. It's just not going to happen because you're not going to go all out. Like I would. If it's I don't care what the score of the game is. If it's the fourth quarter in this game tomorrow, and we got our first team offense out there and first team defense, up and down, I'm going to be furious because I just don't care. I don't care about winning this game. I don't. At this point, you're going to be the 3 anyway, even if you win. Yeah, 13-4 looks a little better than 12-5, and you'd be going in the playoffs with 2 straight losses. But ultimately, that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I care way more about the health. Like even the Green Bay game, I don't really care that much about losing that game. I care about losing Brian O'Neill because that's going to hurt. Losing Brian O'Neill hurts you a lot more next week in the playoffs than losing to Green Bay hurts you in the playoffs. So, they're going to do what they do. I hope O'Connell does the smart thing. I mean, I was even kind of mad that he was still leaving Kirk out there as late as he was last week. But, like, I'd prefer to win. Like, it's fine if we win. If we win, we're still going to be the 3 seed, though. And Chicago isn't starting Fields. They got the legendary Nathan Peterman starting quarterback. So you might be able to basically half-ass it for yourselves and still win the game because you're facing Nathan Peterman. But sucks that you lose the 2 seed, but not that the Giants are going to be easy. They weren't easy already, but I would rather face the Giants than ultimately the NFL has made it pretty clear with their scheduling for this week that Green Bay is going to win the 7 seed. They've set it up that way. They've set it up so that Seattle will probably win in the late window, and so Detroit will have nothing to play for, and that'll give Green Bay the edge if they didn't already have it, and Green Bay will be in the playoffs as the 7th seed. Not that we can't beat Green Bay, but it's going to be tough. Like as optimistic as I tend to be, I really think losing like Brian O'Neill, probably one of the most indispensable players on the team, that is just a fucking death blow. It's a real death blow to this team's chances of a real long run, because the offense is going to have to carry this team to wherever they can go, and it's going to be a struggle. You could be going in with still potentially a third string center if Bradbury ain't back, and then backup right tackle, right guard has still not really improved much during the year. You can do things you can scheme an offense around a bad offensive line. That's one thing we never saw the last couple of years under Zimmer and various OCs, is we never saw play college, except for Stefanski maybe a little bit, really try to scheme around a weakness in an offensive line. And you can do it, but we haven't done it. Now maybe KOC and West Phillips will do it, but you're going to have to do it because if Kirk gets, people like to single out Kirk as like, oh, if you hit Kirk, he's bad. Well, if you destroy any quarterback with the pass rush, they're going to be bad. Super Bowl stage, it happened to Patrick Mahomes, and still people don't seem to get it. that a bad offensive line can just destroy any quarterback, and that can happen to Kirk. And I'm worried. Like the Giants have a have a good defensive front. Like that's going to be tough in the playoffs if that's who it is. Like it's going to be tough. Like ideally, I'd rather face somebody like Seattle, but I don't think that's going to happen. Um, and you can outscore a team like Detroit or Green Bay, but I mean you can't if you're seriously hampered on the offensive line. That's why it's just seen that replay many times now of the pick six where O'Neal got hurt, and every time it goes down, you just like it's just oh my god, worst thing that could have happened. If you just catch a ball, just catch a fucking ball. That whole game, especially early, we just wouldn't catch a fucking pass. That should have been a catch, not a pick six, not a pick at all. And you lose the right tackle for the season and probably some of next season, which makes, of course, now looking forward, now you're going to have to plan for that in the off season. Like, what are you going to be able to count on Brian O'Neill week 1 of 2023? Sucks. But yeah, like if I were KOC, I'd be starting the backups. Now you don't have a big enough. This isn't like a preseason game where you have like 80 guys on the roster. You still got to start some guys who are starters or key backups. But I would like the real key guys. I would not be playing Kirk. I would not be playing Jefferson. I would not be playing Darisaw. I would not be playing um, some of your big defensive stars like Hunter Smith, either Smith, Pat P. I'd probably sit all these guys. And I disagree with the idea that they're gonna play this game. I understand you kind of have to because technically you're not eliminated from the 2 seed. It's the NFL. Weird shit can happen. The 49ers almost lost last week, to Jared Stidham-led Raiders team, but this is different. This is at home for the 49ers. They're just not. They have the number 1 seed potentially coming if they can get a win and the Eagles lose. And the Eagles are playing the Giants, and the Giants are apparently going to sit everybody. So the Giants are going to come in healthy. Like the Giants are trying to maximize their health for the playoff game. I want us to do the same. But it looks like we're maybe not going to focus on that too much. What else? What else? I'll think of what else, and then I'll continue. Okay, just other things in the NFL, like um, 49ers are going to probably get the 2 seed. They have a chance at the 1 seed. The Eagles lose to the Giants, and the Cowboys actually still have a shot at the 1 seed too. But I think Dallas would also need a 49er loss though. But I mean, Dallas could still win the East, which is hilarious. It'd be funny if the Eagles I actually would laugh heartily if the Eagles fell to the fell out of the division title. And I don't know if they're going to be starting Hurts or not. Of course, then we could end up in a situation where the 2 seed is Dallas, and they get Aaron Rodgers going into Dallas, and we know what Dallas does when they play Aaron Rodgers teams in the playoffs. They choke every fucking time. So I hope that doesn't happen. I want it to be the 49ers so that they can stomp the Packers out of the playoffs again. Even if that means we would have to go there, but we're not guaranteed to beat the Giants in the playoffs. I think we can, but we're certainly not guaranteed to do it, especially starting who knows on the offensive line. Um, my preference is that somehow Seattle gets in, but just because I don't want the Packers in, and I don't want the Lions in because the Lions are cocky, have gotten very cocky and annoying. AFC, obviously the whole thing with the Bills, Bengals, that's thrown everything into chaos. I can't disagree more with some of the stuff the NFL is doing. Like, just if you're not going to replay the game, let the 2 teams decide what they want to do. Like you're essentially punishing both teams. Like they could choose to have that happen, but I mean, like you're gonna have like a neutral site AFC Championship game, and you're gonna have a coin flip game potentially for other games. It's stupid. I know many years ago they didn't even determine home field in playoff games based on record. It was like alternating year after year. That's why like the 72 Dolphins went on the road for an AFC Championship game. But I hate what they've done with that. But So I guess that's it. I'm very not enthusiastic about this game. I'll watch it. I hope we win. I mean, we've had such trouble over the years at Soldier Field. Zimmer one of the feathers in Zimmer's cap was he was able to win in Soldier Field a decent amount. I believe he was 500 at Soldier Field. This isn't a real game though. We can't. I don't know if we can what we can do to gauge it. I certainly hope we. I mean, like I hope we win. I hope we win and look good and don't have any injuries. Like that's a lot to ask for playing on that field and in January when we're going through a hellish winter here. But um, you know, as far as picking the game, I don't know. I mean, I guess if we're really going to play the starters like it's a real game, then yeah, I probably think the Vikings will win. And yeah, we're facing Nathan Peterman, but look, we're going to give up yards to Nathan Peterman too. It's just the way it is. So I don't know, 27-20 Vikings maybe. I have no idea. Um, I know at 3 o'clock Sunday, I'm going to be more happy if we just came out of it without any significant injuries. I won't care that much about the loss if we lose or if we win. Be nice, but I won't be like over the moon for the win. I care about next week. Giants probably coming in here, US Bank Stadium, and that's the one that really counts. And you know, it sucks. I think I really like the Vikings were going to have to buck a lot of historical trends to make a real run, like a deep run, make like a Super Bowl run, because no team with a defense like ours, you know, as bad as ours, has ever won a Super Bowl, and very few have ever made it to a Super Bowl. And of course, we've got the rookie head coach taking over a non-playoff team in his first year. That hasn't taken a team to a Super Bowl in my lifetime, and has only won a Super Bowl once, and that was like 50 years ago. It's just these are just things that don't happen in the NFL, and I think this has been a very good season and a very encouraging season for the long term future of this team. Even though there's a lot of fans out there who just have refused to enjoy any of it because we take some bad losses and people talk about point differential, and then fans want to be like, oh, this means the season was bad. No, this has been a fantastic season. It's just hitting the we get so much of it is injuries. You get a really bad injury at a really bad time, and it's going to be tough. I ain't giving up on this team. I mean, this team has shown all year long that they are resilient, both in games and week to week. So not giving up, but it's going to be really really tough. And every little bit of you know scheming and coaching wizardry we can get from KOC and Wes Phillips, and you know it's going to be needed, and we're going to need and we're going to need this damn defense to step up and really play a real game, like a real full game. Like they can't do this Donna Shell crap that we've been doing most of the season. Like it's just not going to work. I don't care if you're facing Daniel Jones or anybody else in the playoffs. You can't do it. Like we really need the defense has made some big turnovers times this year, but no, we need them to play a real game. They need to play a game where they are an asset for 4 quarters, because the offense is probably going to have their struggles um, against the Giants or anybody else, and we're going to need the defense to pull their weight. They haven't. They've done it at times. Obviously, the fourth quarters, all these comebacks, they don't happen without the defense contributing. But they haven't really played a 4 quarter game since week one, and we're going to need it. And I hope we get it, because pre Brian O'Neill injury, I would have thought this offense could really carry this team through the playoffs. Now I think they're gonna need a lot of help from the defense. Because if you need to win, if you need to score 35 a game to win, I don't think you can do that. If you need to score 24 to win, that's a little more doable. But that's for next week to really worry about. I'll certainly be very worried. But as far as this game, I'll say Vikings win, because I think they're gonna care a little more. I mean, the Bears fans probably want to lose, because they might get the number one pick if they lose. I believe if they lose and Houston wins, the Bears get the number one pick. So I hope the Vikings come through this game with no more injuries. That's the big thing. No one else gets hurt. Maybe Chris Reed looks a little more competent. Like if he can at least get the snaps off properly, then we can can actually run an offense in the playoffs. But I've been talking way too long for a preview for a game that I'm not sure really matters. So 27-20 Vikings, and hey, stay healthy.